Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Cricket Carnival T20. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. This is the show that gets you the latest from the world of IPL 2017. The glitz, the glamour, the sporting action has of course begun, and this is the show where we get you the best analysis and the best highlights. Well, remember of course the extravaganza is continuing. 2 matches already have been played, and tonight of course was the third match, which was a blockbuster. It was built to be a blockbuster, but it turned out to be quite a one-sided affair. Kolkata Knight Riders, of course, absolutely overpowered the Gujarat Lions, completely winning by 10 wickets. Yes, it was a fabulous performance from Chris Lynn and Gautam Gambhir, who single-handedly, or rather double-handedly, if we talk about both of them, powered their side to a stupendous victory in this match, chasing down that total of 183 pretty easily in just 14.5 overs. Joining us on the show today will be Sabah Karim, former Indian cricketer. Himanshu Chaturvedi, sports guru, will also be joining us in a short bit. Ritinder Singh Sodhi, former Indian cricketer, will also join us from a live link via Chandigarh. But yes, as I told you shortly before, the Kolkata openers Gautam Gambhir and Chris Lynn played one of the best innings in the history of the Indian Premier League to down Gujarat by 10 wickets. Set a target of 184. Kolkata pounced on some ordinary bowling by the Gujarat team as both Lynn and Gambhir wreaked havoc. Gambhir scoring an unbeaten 76 runs and Lynn making a brilliant 93 to stun Gujarat. There were boundaries, there were sixes. It was pouring runs at the Rajkot stadium in the match for the Kolkata innings. Well, earlier Gujarat's batsmen did live up to their expectations with some brilliance from Brendan McCullum, Dinesh Karthik and especially Suresh Raina, who did put up quite a stupendous knock, but too vain. Well, McCullum setting the platform for Gujarat with a brisk 35 runs. Raina and Karthik adding 87 runs together. That helped the hosts get to 183, which looked a respectable total. But for Kolkata, it was single-handedly, as I said earlier, Lynn and Gambhir, who made it seem so just easy to score 184, as I said, in 14.5 overs. For Kolkata, Kuldeep Yadav being the pick of the bowlers, picking up 2 wickets and giving 25 runs. Well, certainly important wickets that Kuldeep Yadav took off the Gujarat team. He not only sent Brendan McCullum and Aaron Finch back to the pavilion, but also put brakes on the scoring of the Gujarat team by giving just 25 runs in his 4 overs. Suresh Raina scoring a brave 68 runs off 51 balls with 7 fours added in as well. Raina was dropped twice by Kolkata. His innings provided stability to the Gujarat team, but it just wasn't enough. Dinesh Karthik also stealing the show for the Gujarat side with a blistering 47 runs off 25 balls. Karthik hit 2 massive sixes and 7 fours. Well, as I said earlier, Gambhir starting the IPL 10 campaign in style after an elegant innings of 76 runs off 48 balls, striking 12 fours along the way as well. Chris Lynn's aggressive innings, meanwhile, of 93 runs off 41 balls, ensuring Kolkata's victory. Lynn struck 6 fours and 8 whopping sixes. Lynn certainly turning out to be a big hitter in just the first match of the tournament, along with Gambhir scoring a record opening partnership of 185 runs for Kolkata. So quite a spirited performance by the 2 batsmen there, and I'm being told our guests are through, so let's go live across to Sabah Karim, Himanshu Chaturvedi and Ritinder Singh Sodhi, who are all joining us. Let's go across to Sabah Karim first. Sabah, we were talking earlier in the day, and it certainly was good bowling as well, of course, but, you know, stupendous performances by Chris Lynn and Gautam Gambhir, which really stole the show.
Yes, it did. It's such a rousing start by KKR. They are a team in form. Over the past so many years, they've done quite well. And this is the kind of performance KKR needed to kickstart this 2017 IPL campaign. Both Gautam Gambhir and Chris Lynn were quite severe against an inexperienced bowling attack. The only experienced member I saw in that team was Praveen Kumar. Otherwise, the rest of the combination of bowlers as well as spinner was not up to the mark. And that's what we spoke about at the beginning of the show, that somehow I felt that the balance is quite skewed. They are top heavy batting lineup, Gujarat Lions, and did not pick any bowler of note in this 11. I was quite surprised not to see James Faulkner, who happens to be a terrific all-rounder. He could have added some more value to the side. So yes, this is a great start by KKR. Gujarat Lions, however, they did quite well in the batting exploits. Suresh Raina, Dinesh Karthik putting up some good runs. Good start by McCullum as well, but somehow it wasn't good enough on such a track which offered so much of help to the batsman.
Yeah, and Ritinder, of course, great batting by Gambhir and Lynn, but, disappointing bowling from the Gujarat side. Not even able to pick up one wicket in a T20 format is really disappointing. I mean, their bowlers just got completely walked around the park for 4s and 6s. I mean, if we talk about the innings, there were 6 4s and 8 6s by Lynn and 12 4s by Gambhir.
Massive KKR, and I'm still having the goosebumps. The way Gautam Gambhir batted today, the way Lynn batted today, they just were exceptional. And you are very right, Uday. The bowling looked fragile of Gujarat, and we were talking in our pre-match show that this side looks inexperienced. And talking about KKR, they seem to be the best balanced side if we talk about all the IPL teams. And I'm sure after this massive victory, big victory, huge victory, they are the side which will be now counted as favourites to win the IPL.
Absolutely. Favourites to win the IPL, says Ritinder Sori after this stupendous performance by KKR in their first encounter. Himanshu Chaturvedi, were you quite surprised that it turned out to be a one-sided affair? I mean, 183 is quite a respectable total, one would have thought, at Rajkot, but it turned out to be so easy for Gambhir and Lynn.
I don't know what this IPL is going to do to the bowlers. You see the way the 3 matches have come in, it looks like 180 is no score. I mean, they're toying around with the bowlers. I mean, you see 183, 184, and you had 207. I mean, what to talk about it? And today, the way the Kolkata players were playing, as if it looked like they're going to break the records of Virat and AB de Villiers of that 226 or 215 innings. It looked like 184 was no score for them. Fantastic batting. I'm quite surprised that why Raina did not take on to bowling when he saw such things were happening. He should have at least tried himself for over a 2.
Yeah, it's a disappointing match, certainly, Sabha, for Suresh Raina. We were talking earlier about how it is an important match for him personally, as a captain, of course, but also as a player. He, of course, played a respectable knock of 68, hitting about 7 4s, a decent strike rate. But unfortunately, as a captain, just didn't follow through.
Well, it also goes to show it's not only your exploit on the field, but it's what you do behind the doors in the dressing room.
Yeah, Sabha, go ahead.
Yeah, as I was mentioning, I think there's a lot of hard work to be done, a lot of homework to be done before the game starts. And I think today Suresh Raina got his combination wrong. You possibly cannot have 4 or 5 foreigners in your 4 foreigners in the side, and all 4 of them are primarily batsmen.
Yeah.
You need to get your balance right, and that's what went wrong with Gujarat Lions. The kind of players Suresh Raina went in with was not the right kind of combination which was required on a track like this. So somehow I think both Heat Streak and Suresh Raina got their calculations wrong today. However, this is such a long tournament. I expect Gujarat Lions to come back. They did very well last season, and they do have the firepower to come good. They are missing the services of Ravindra Jadeja because he fills that role quite well of an all-rounder. So somehow it's so important for Gujarat Lions to get back the services of Jadeja as soon as possible.
Yeah, and Himanshu, speaking about Chris Lynn, spectacular, big hitting Australian, hasn't really played much internationally for Australia. He's, of course, quite a star on the domestic circuit, but turning out to be quite an upcoming player. I'm sure the Australian selectors will be looking at him very closely after this blistering knock. I mean, a strike rate of 226, over 226, 8 6s, 6 4s. I mean, he made it so easy. The score of 183. Okay, I think Himanshu is not just through yet. We'll just try and re-establish that connection with him. But Ritinder, if you would like to take that, Chris Lynn turning out to be a find for the Australians. I'm sure the selectors will be looking at him very closely. We of course know that Gambhir, can, on a good day, there's no matching up to Gambhir, of course. But Chris Lynn KKR will be smiling. Shah Rukh Khan will be very happy that they decided to pick him, and of course went with the decision to have him opening with Gambhir.
Yeah, I think a very good decision because Chris Lynn has been a smasher, and the way he played today, now he will be toying with the bowlers all around in the IPL, and he will be the fair among the bowlers too, because this batting display is massive. Because if you can hit the ball such a hard way and you can push the bowlers to cleaners in this way, I'm sure that he is the man to be noted in the notebooks. But you cannot forget the role Gautam Gambhir played today, because he is the one who has been in and out of the Indian team.
Yeah.
Lots of people are expecting big things from him, and this is the start, because we have seen so many players making comeback from IPL. And if Gautam can continue with this super form, I'm sure we'll see him donning national colours yet again.
Absolutely. That was disappointing when, of course, he was dropped from the national side, dropped from the pay scales as well. So I'm sure Gautam fans will be very happy at this spirited innings and hope that the the comeback of Gautam Gambhir can be sooner rather than later. But Sabah Karim, coming back to you with regards to the bowling performances once again, as you said, it was inexperience which, of course, didn't pull things through for the Gujarat side. Unfortunately, not a very good decision to have all the foreigners in the in the batting lineup. The decision, of course, to have Goni, Kulkarni, Kaushik, Smith, Jakati, and just Praveen Kumar as experience, obviously not a good one. But interestingly, for the KKR team, it was Kuldeep Yadav. We were expecting Sunil Narayan to lead from the front. He didn't take any wickets, but Kuldeep Yadav 2 for 25.
Yes, Uday, but the best part about KKR is that they have got so much of options available. They had 3 spinners today. They had Piyush Chawla, they had Sunil Narayan, and they had Kuldeep Yadav. And all 3 of them are wicket-taking bowlers. All 3 of them are attacking bowlers, and I think that makes a big difference. Because against spinners, you have to have proper footwork. Against spinners, you have to get after them. And on top of that, if you have the quality of spinners like KKR has, it's very difficult to get going. And we talked about this in the pre-game show that I was expecting Gautam Gambhir to utilize the services of either of these spinners front on in power play, and that's what he did. He brought in Piyush Chawla, and he got the wicket of Jason Roy. So because they have so many options available, it gets easy for Gautam Gambhir to start to rotate his spinners. On top of that, he also has some quality seam bowling attack, although it is a different matter that Trent Bolt went for runs today. But they do have the quality to restrict the opposition to not a big score. That's what happened today. On such a flat track, they were able to restrict Gujarat Lions to only about 180 plus, and that made things quite easy for KKR in the end.
Yeah, very quickly, Himanshu, I believe you're back with us. Back to the question I was asking you earlier on Gambhir and Lynn. Gambhir, of course, with this brilliant performance today, showing that on his day he can be a match winner. Of course, something that we've known, of course, for numerous years when he's played for Team India, done so well. But I'm sure he's hoping that the Indian selectors will look at this. Hope it'll be a comeback for him if he can continue this form for the rest of the tournament as well, back to the national side. And Chris Lynn, I'm sure he's hoping the Australian selectors are looking at him. We saw how Shane Watson got a big fill-up to his career from way back in the first IPL 10 years ago, when he, of course, was part of that Rajasthan Royals team and, contributed so much. So Chris Lynn, possibly another shining star as well. And Lynn, hope the selectors are taking note, I'm sure.
Yeah, Uday, I think I'll pick up both the questions separately. I think Gautam has been a little consistent out in IPL. But I think if the selectors are saying, and we have Sabah here who's almost selected the teams for so long, I mean, the best question is we can ask Sabah that would the selectors have a close look at the performance what Gambhir has done today. And of course, I'll talk of Lynn. Again, yesterday I did say that it's becoming a captain's game altogether. It's just one change. He didn't get Uthappa today to the opening, and he got him, and that made all the changes. So I think it's a very, very smart move by Gautam Gambhir. So I should be looking at Gautam Gambhir not just in line to be selected as a player, but maybe somebody who can make strategies also for the Indian team in shorter formats.
Yeah. A quick word then to Sabah Karim. Do you feel the selectors do look at the IPL as a possible comeback vehicle while looking at players who may not be playing in the national side, but some youngsters, of course, who hope to be, picked up, and they are, of course, definitely, but also, those who are much older and much more mature, but use the IPL as a comeback vehicle of sorts.
Well, it has happened in the past. You've seen Yuvraj Singh make a strong comeback in the national side due to his performance in the T20 format. So yes, one can talk on those lines. But I think at this stage, for Gautam Gambhir to make a comeback in the T20 format for the Indian team looks quite far-fetched to me. I know Gautam has been in great form. This is not the first time when I've seen him do very well for KKR in the past as well. So I think at this point of time, let's stick to IPL. Let's stick to the fact that Gautam Gambhir is contributing so handsomely for KKR. He has led the side for a number of years now. He has made them win twice. So he's an inspiring leader. So I think we should stick to that. Yes, there have been cases where youngsters have used this platform to showcase their talent, and they've got into the national side. Talking about Chris Lynn, he got an opportunity to play for Australia. This was last year against India. He didn't perform very well. One also has to understand that there's a huge difference in quality. We're talking about IPL, where generally you get to play against one or two quality bowlers. But when you're talking about international cricket, you have 5 top quality wicket-taking bowlers up against you. So it's not so easy. So yes, here you can spot talent, but then selectors also see whether you can whether you're adding to your progress by doing well at the domestic circuit also or not.
Yeah, well, it's great perspective there coming from, as Imanshu said, someone who's done the selectors had before. So spoken truly there from that position. Thank you, Sabah, for that point of view there. Quickly, let's talk about what happened in the match last night before switching focus, of course, to what we can expect tomorrow. I'll request our panelists to stay with us. Remember yesterday, one of the big news points of the match, Pune's MS Dhoni being reprimanded by the match referee for breaching the IPL code of conduct during the match against Mumbai. Dhoni admitted the level 1 offence, Article 2.1.1, for conduct that is contrary to the spirit of the game. Dhoni's offence was making a review gesture with his hands immediately after an LBW appeal against Kieron Pollard was turned down. For level 1 breaches of the IPL code of conduct, the match referee's decision is, of course, final and binding. We're going to take a short break on that note, but we're going to be back with lots more. We're going to be talking about the matches coming up tomorrow. Remember, it's a double header. The weekend is here, and there's going to be more IPL action on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be talking about that, getting expert analysis, of course. Stay with us.
It's a good delivery, full of legs. That's gone for 6 runs. It's a good delivery, full of legs. That's gone for 6 runs.
Welcome back from the break. Well, tomorrow, remember, of course, sees Punjab take on Pune. Can Pune continue their good form? Punjab, of course, it's their first match. Can they get their IPL innings off to a great start? We'll be getting you a big preview of the match. But first, a quick look at the preparations of both the sides. Well, yes, Punjab will be looking to define themselves under new skipper Glenn Maxwell when they face Pune at Mohali in the first match of the doubleheader on Super Saturday. Punjab will need to fire right from the beginning if they're to go far in the tournament, and Maxwell will hope to get his squad together and making them believe in themselves. Punjab's batting segment looks powerful, but it is their bowlers that don't look so superior, though, on paper. Pune, remember, had got off to a victory in their opening encounter. Steve Smith leading from the front to help his side notch up a special win. The spinning duo of Imran Tahir and Adam Zampa is a bonus, and going into the match, he will expect his pacers to also do well and click together. Well, let's quickly listen in to Punjab's mentor Virendra Sehwag and also Mayank Agarwal of Pune ahead of the match. We'll get to those reactions in just a bit, but if I can quickly go across to Aishwarya then, who will quickly take us through some of the key players who we can expect to fire in that game tomorrow between Punjab and Pune. Aishwarya, over to you. We saw some of the shining stars on the pitch yesterday for Pune, but who can we look forward to tomorrow and take us to Punjab side? We haven't spoken much about them.
Well, absolutely. It's a contest between Punjab and Pune tomorrow in Indore. Remember, Uday, Indore is the same ground where Virendra Sehwag scored double century in ODI, 219 runs. But first of all, I'd like to go to Punjab as Virendra Sehwag is the mentor for them. Sean Marsh, of course, the first player who can turn around the game for Punjab. His stat shows that how he can be influential. The second is Glenn Maxwell. Of course, he is the captain of Punjab this side with his with 43 matches, of course, with 918 runs. With a strike rate of 161.61, we have seen in few seasons there where he has just turned away the game by single-handedly. In the third side, if I look at the David Miller's stats, you know, he comes in the middle order, but he scores massively with a strike rate of 144.39. He alone also can turn around the game for Punjab. It's the Punjab's first game in Indore. Now look at the key players of Pune. What it says, Pune has already played a game and they had won it comfortably. Steve Smith, who scored last night 83 massive runs, his stat shows that 55 matches and 136.97 of the strike rate in IPL with 350s and a century. And the other key player who can be his, let's see, it's of course the captain MS Dhoni. If I can tell my producers to just change the player profile if I go into it. So MS Dhoni, he is not captaining this side for Pune, but he is also the batsman who everyone knows that his stats already shows 138.75 is the strike rate in 144 matches. He can be a turnaround. If I go into the third key player of Pune, then who can be him? It's of course none other than Ajinkya Rahane with 96 matches and a strike rate of 121.77 with 24 50s and a century. So this is what a cracker of a contest that we can see between Punjab and Pune in Indore. It's a small ground, and what's the cricket analyst says that, you know, Indore is a ground where more of the it's a heavy contest between Punjab and Pune. That's all from my side, Uday. Up to you.
Absolutely. It's going to be a keen contest tomorrow for Punjab versus Pune. Can Pune continue that winning momentum, or will Punjab turn the tadka towards their side? Before we get to our experts, our panelists on their thoughts for the match, I'm being told we can play out those reactions that I'd promised our viewers earlier. Let's play out those reactions coming in from the Punjab and the Pune side.
देखिए इस बार हमने काफ़ी एक्स्ट्रा प्लेयर्स लिए हैं, जो फॉरेनर्स हो चाहे डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर्स हो, तो उम्मीद ऐसी करते हैं कि हमारे जो खिलाड़ी हैं उनकी जो फॉर्म खराब थी पिछले साल वो इस साल बेहतर हो. जैसे मैक्सवेल ने इंडिया में 100 बनाया, कपिल अभी शतक बनाकर आ रहे हैं साउथ अफ्रीका के खिलाफ. इयन मॉर्गन ने काफ़ी अच्छी बैटिंग की इंडिया के खिलाफ जब इंग्लैंड की कैप्टनसी कर रहे थे. तो जो इन फॉर्म बैट्समैन है, अगर वो चलते हैं तो शायद हमारे जो 4 बैट्समैन खेलेंगे वो शायद ऐसे धमाकेदार बल्लेबाज है कि अपने दम पर मैच जिता सकते हैं. मैं क्या उनको बोल सकता हूँ, सिर्फ उनको फ्रीडम दे सकता हूँ अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करने का ऑन द फील्ड. तो मुझे लगता है जो क्रिकेट मैंने खेली शायद उसी क्रिकेट की उम्मीद करता हूँ उनसे, तो वैसी क्रिकेट खेलेंगे। ये गेम बैट्समैन का ही लेकिन जिताते बॉलर से, तो इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि अगर बॉलिंग यूनिट आपकी अच्छी है और वो अच्छा प्रदर्शन करती है तो आपको आधे से ज़्यादा IPL के मैचेस बॉलिंग ही जिताती है, क्योंकि इम्पोर्टेंट है एक टीम में अगर 5 अच्छे गेंदबाज खेलते रहो, 5 में से 4 या 3 परफॉर्म करते हैं तो आप हर बार 150 से 160 चीज करेंगे। तो शायद मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि एज ए कैप्टन और एज ए मेंटर की बॉलिंग यूनिट अच्छी होनी चाहिए, शायद इसलिए हम लोगों ने मुरली विजय की रिप्लेसमेंट की ईशांत शर्मा लिया है ताकि हमारी बॉलिंग स्ट्रेंथन रहे।
Okay, I want to quickly go across to our panelists now. Ritinder Sodhi, if I can begin with you first. You're, of course, in Chandigarh. The match isn't happening there, in close by to you in Mohali. But can the Punjabi Tadka be turned on the pitch in Indore tomorrow? Or will Pune continue their winning momentum? Ritinder.
Today I would really want from heart that Punjab should win. There should be huge tadka after tomorrow evening. But somehow I have a feeling that Punjab has to improve leaps and bounds because they are depending on Maxwell and Miller. And if they flop, then they don't have the batting. It looks very fragile, very vulnerable, very inexperienced. Bowling has been a predicament for Punjab. They don't have bowlers who can bowl those last 3 to 4 overs. And that has been the story of Punjab if we talk about previous 9 IPLs. So they have to really work and come with a plan out. But I feel Virender Sehwag being a mentor, he can really help Team Punjab. And if he can give his ideas to Team Punjab and Punjab can implement it on the ground, then it can be a different story. For me,
that's a good point. That's a good point. We're almost out of time, so I quickly want to get in other panelists. Sabah Karim, if I can come to you very quickly. Okay, we seem to have lost Sabah Karim, but Himanshu, a quick closing thoughts from you, Himanshu. What do you feel is going to happen tomorrow? Can Steve Smith continue the winning momentum? Or do you feel it's over-reliance on Miller and Maxwell is captain also this time?
Yeah, I think I'll go with Pune for tomorrow, but
Okay.
But for a change, my hindsight says that tomorrow is going to be bowlers' game, and let's see which side can have their bowlers coming in very well.
That's a good
It's
point.
going to be a bowlers' game, so let's see.
That's a good point. It's going to be a bowler's game is what you're predicting for tomorrow. And as Ritinder was saying, the Punjab bowlers haven't been so confident. So can they really change that? Well, we'll get to know tomorrow. But thanks to all our guests for joining us this evening. We're absolutely out of time. We have to take a very quick break. The Cricket Carnival continues through the season right here on NewsX. Don't go anywhere for now. A quick break.
It's a good delivery, full of length. That's gone for 6 runs.